everybody! Okay, so today I am going to show you just a makeup look that I like to wear every day. It's not very natural, but it's not too, whoa, like out there kind of thing. So this is what I like to wear on an everyday basis at the moment because it's the festive season, or it was the festive season. So the first thing that I would do in a morning is I would wake up and I would wash my face with my Dermalogica Dermal Clay Cleanser. I will then tone my face with some cotton pads and the Clinique Clarifying Lotion. Really good. Both of those have helped my skin so much, it's unbelievable. Next I will moisturise with the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturising Gel, and then I don't use a primer or anything. I probably should, but I don't. So a few days ago I actually purchased a new foundation. Now I'm one of these people where I don't care for the branded stuff really. I can just buy a drugstore foundation and I'll be perfectly happy with it. But I decided to splurge out a little bit on the MAC Studio Fix Liquid SPF 15 foundation. Just looks like that, little bottle. And the only thing that I don't like about this is it doesn't come with a pump. So yeah, it's quite difficult to get out. So that's the only downside about this foundation. So what I'll do is I'm going to see if it'll actually come out today. Like, easily. Hey! It's working! Sort of. Yes! Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit on first and then see if I need any more. Now for Christmas I actually got these Cleof brushes, and they're just oval brushes. Now these are like, I've seen these everywhere, so that's why I really wanted to try them out. So I asked them for Christmas and they are, sorry I'm just looking in my mirror, they are really good. Like, I was pleasantly surprised by how good they are. Now, with these brushes, I tend to put a little bit more foundation on because I feel like, obviously, with a beauty blender, which is what I always used before these brushes, obviously you could just dab and push it into the skin. However, with these, it does sometimes wipe away some of the foundation, but it doesn't really bother me. It just means that I need to put a little more on than I would normally do, and that's not a problem at all. So just putting it all over my face until I am happy with the coverage that I've got. This foundation is a really good coverage, but because of the brushes that I'm using, it does mean that I need to put a bit more on than I would normally if I was using a beauty sponge or beauty blender or whatever you want to call it. I mean, sometimes if I don't like the coverage that I've got with this brush, I will just, I don't know, just go over it and push a bit more in with a beauty blender. But I don't really tend to do that a lot, unless I'm going out somewhere and I want a really full coverage to last me all night. Just a little bit more I find I get the best results with these brushes when I do circular motions all over my face. I just feel like it blends a lot better with circular motions. Right, I think that's a pretty good coverage. Now, I've struggled with really oily skin on my T-zone, so up here, down my nose and on the sides of my nose. And the other day I thought, you know what, I'm going to stop getting drugstore ones and I'm going to go into MAC and I'm going to ask them if they've got anything for good skin. Now, I also got really bad spots in the past when I've used different foundations because it used to clog up my pores. This foundation doesn't do that. It's non-clogging and it definitely has dramatically helped the oiliness around my nose, and that's what I was always insecure about because I would just think that everyone would be looking at it, and I hated that. It was a horrible feeling, but this foundation doesn't make me feel like that anymore. Okay, so I'm just gonna tip everything out. The next thing that I use, where have I put it, is the Illuminating Touch Brightening Concealer from Collection. Now, Collection do the best concealers in the world. Like, I would suggest it to anyone. So all I'm doing is I'm just applying this concealer under my eye. If there's more in here. Yes. And a bit down the bridge of my nose, on my Cupid's bow, that bit there, and a tiny bit on my chin. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the same kind of oval brush but a little bit smaller than the foundation one, and I'm just going to pretty much blend and push it in to my skin. Just like that. Now that does help. This foundation is really, this concealer is really good for making you look really awake if you're feeling very tired one day, and I just like to use it every day anyway. Okay, so with any blemishes that I have around my face that I just want to conceal a little bit more, I will then go in with another Collection concealer. It's the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in One Fair. So I'll just get a little bit and just dab over any areas that I want covering up a little bit more. Here, 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 and then around my nose. Okay, so after I've dabbed the concealer on the spots that I want to cover, I'm going to take my teeny tiny little beauty blender that I got for Christmas, and I'm just going to push the product into the skin on the areas that I want a little bit more coverage. The reason why I put bits around my nose again was this concealer is very mattifying, and I feel like when I put it around my nose it helps with the oiliness throughout the day, so it really helps and works a lot. Okay, so now I've covered up all my blemishes. I'm then going to set the powder with, I'm going to use this Real Techniques brush and this Maybelline New Matte Maker mattifying powder in the shade 10 Classic Ivory. So I'll just get a little bit and dust it over my face. Now obviously the new foundation that I've got is quite mattifying as well, so you don't need a lot of powder with this foundation. Next I'm going to use my NYX, or NYX as some people call it, Highlight and Contour Pro Palette, and I'm going to use another one of my brushes. This is just a pointy one, and I'm going to use this shade in the palette, and I'm just gonna line where I want my contour to be. This helps a lot with definition around your cheekbones. And to make it all blend in, I'll put a little bit down my forehead as well, and on the top, and a little on my jawline. Okay, what brush am I going to use? Okay, so I'm going to go back in with the oval brush that I used for my under eye concealer, and I'm basically just going to rub so it's all blended in, because you don't want any harsh lines visible throughout the day. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a little bit of bronzer. So for this I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown bronzer. This is the Bobbi Brown bronzing powder in Natural. It just looks like that. Got a little mirror there. And I'm going to use this brush. Now I've had this brush for many years now. I'm not sure where I got it from. Yes, I do. It's from Eco Tools from Boots, I believe. So I'll just get a little bit on the brush, tap off the excess, and just brush over where I want things to be bronzed. Okay, next I'm going to move on to my eyebrows. For this I'm going to use the Maybelline New York Brow Satin. This is really good. I've been using this for a while now. There's two different ends to it. There's this end, which is just a pencil liner kind of thing. Didn't really come out there. It's really natural. And then this end is a little sponge, and it's got some product on it, so you can blend stuff in if you want to. But I don't use a sponge end. I'm just going to use the other end. So I'm just going to do that. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Okay, so with my brows, all I'm going to do is small hair-like strokes to make it look nice and natural. Now this is quite quick to do. However, I have like no eyebrows for some reason, so it takes me a little bit longer to get a good shape, because I don't want to have one shape one day and then a different shape the next day. Just small hair-like strokes, and that's what it looks like. So I'm just going to do exactly the same on the other eyebrow. Okay, so that's what they both look like. Now I actually use 2 different products on my eyebrows. The next product that I use, a lot of you would have probably heard about it. It's the Wonderbrow eyebrow gel. Really, really good. It's waterproof. It is a really good natural colour, and the fact that it's got a gel in it makes your eyebrows just stay all day. And there have been times where I've gone to sleep with this on and I've woken up and it's still there, like fully on, none of it's come off. So I'm just going to use a little angled brush. This is an Eco Tools brush as well, and I'm just going to do little strokes on top of the eyebrow that I've already filled in, and then towards the front I just do little upwards motions to make it look more like hair. Just going to do exactly the same on the other eyebrow. Okay, so now that that's done and I've filled in my eyebrows, now I'm just going to take a little spoolie brush, just normal, and just run it through my eyebrows to try and break up some of the gel and make my natural hairs more visible. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is my favourite part. Okay, I've just zoomed the camera in because the next thing that I'm doing is the eyelids and the eyeshadow. Now for this I am using one of my favourite Christmas presents, the Morphe 35T palette. I think that's what it says on there. It's really beautiful, lovely brown, golds, purples, pinks. It's really nice. So for this I am just going to go, I'm going to start with the outer crease, and I am going to go with this brown shade here, and I'm just gonna blend, blend, blend. Blending everything so that you've got a nice outer natural colour. So I'm just going to do exactly the same on the other eye. Okay, so that's what it looks like at the moment. So now I'm just going to take a darker brown, and I'm literally just going to take the shade next to it. That's what I'm taking, and just putting it a little bit more below where I've put the other eyeshadow, just to harshen the crease of my eye. And I'm just going to do the same as I've done with that eye, with this eye. Okay, so the next colour I'm going to go in with is quite a dark colour. It's this brown here. Once again, I'm just going to put this in the outer corner and blend in. Just going to dab and then push in. Dab and push in. Okay, so for a smoky eye kind of look, you have to put a smoke on the top and then bring it under. So for the under bit, I'm going to take the colour that I started off with and just, with this brush again. Oh yeah, this brush is the MAC 217, I believe, the blending brush. And I'm just going to take this under my lower lash line, just to smoke it out. I do exactly the same with the other eye. Make it a little bit smoky. I'll give you a little close up. No, I'm not done. Now, I quite like a little bit of shimmer, so I'm going to go in with this champagne-y kind of colour here. You can't really see it very well in the camera, but I find the best way to apply a shimmer is to use a spray on a brush, put the brush in the shimmer and then just dap it, then just dab it onto the eyelid. Okay, so the spray that I'm using is the MAC Prep and Prime spray for this, and the brush that I'm using to pat it all on with is the MAC 239, I believe. It's just a flat brush like that. Just gonna spray some Prep and Prime on here. I'm going to take the champagne colour and just get a lot of that on the brush, and then just dab all over the lid. And the same on the other eye. Okay, that's what it looks like. Okay, so that is the eyes pretty much done. The only thing left to do now is apply some mascara. I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara in Extreme Black. Now, if you want to, you can apply false lashes. I don't like wearing false lashes. I feel like they are too heavy on my eyes. So I would just rather apply a lot of coats of mascara. So after I've applied mascara on that eye, I'm going to do exactly the same on the other eye. Okay, so I've applied lots of coats of mascara onto my top lashes. Now I'm just going to apply a little bit onto my bottom lashes as well, just to help make my eyes stand out a little bit more. Okay, so that is the eyes completely done. Next thing I like to do is add a little bit of highlight, and for this I use the B Cosmetics angled contour brush. Now I know that I'm not contouring, but I like the effect that it gives my cheek, so I'm just gonna brush that on top of my cheekbone and on that side, and then I like to bring it up here a little bit. Same on this side, and a little bit on the end of my nose, and some on my cupid's bow. More on the end of my nose, make it actually stand out. Okay, now can't really see it too much, but you can see a little bit of a shimmer there. So lastly, I'm going to apply a nude lipstick because it's quite a dark eye, so I don't want a dark lip. So I'm using the Gosh Baby Lips in 01 Matte. Looks like this. Little focus, there we go. Very nice nude colour. And I'm just going to apply all over my lips. This lipstick is very mattifying, but it's very good for your lips because it gives a lot of moisture at the same time. It's really weird, but I love it. So lastly, I'm going to set my foundation and all of my makeup with the Urban Decay All Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. So I'm just going to shake and spray it all over my face. And this is the finished look. So here's the eyes, lips, foundation, highlight. Love it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it's given some of you some ideas of what makeup to do and how to do it if people are new to it. And I will see you again soon in my next video. Bye!